Good morning and welcome to our thought for the week. It's Christmas Eve and I trust that you're looking forward to tomorrow. If you've got youngsters in the house, I'm sure they're very excited and will be wanting to get to bed early or not tonight, and it'll be probably an early start for some of you in the morning. Last week, if you joined us for the thought for the week, I spoke a bit on A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. And I want to pick up that same theme today. As I said, it was my favourite movie, but it's a fantastic book. The book A Christmas Carol has sold over 2 million copies, proving its huge continuing popularity. Back in 1843, you could buy, when it was first published, you could buy the book for 5 shillings. A first edition, by the way, now is worth $40,000. A signed one sold recently for $280,000. Are some of you going to pause and now run off and see if you've got an old copy of A Christmas Carol? Feel free. But Dickens' telling of the story has endured to this present day and has left a mark on our culture. What I mean by that is the word humbug, for example, has entered popular use. It now means anything that's over festive or sentimental. The name Scrooge entered the Oxford English Dictionary in the 1980s, and it refers to a miser. Dickens took the name Ebenezer Scrooge from a gravestone in Edinburgh, and the inscription on the gravestone read, "Whose job was given as a meal man." Now Dickens misread the inscription and thought he saw a mean man. Thus how we first encounter the Ebenezer as a businessman. Now none of us would like to be thought of as an Ebenezer Scrooge, especially the one you meet at the beginning of the book. Scrooge was a fallen man, in desperate need of redemption, with absolutely no desire to turn from his horrible ways. The Bible describes Scrooge perfectly. John chapter 3 and verse 19. "This is the verdict. Light has come into the world, but men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil." It was on Christmas Eve that when Scrooge had his 4 visitors, and was the spirit of Christmas yet to come, who left Ebenezer in no doubt what the wages of his sin were to be. The warning, as one modern writer, Greg Morris, says, God does not sweep sin under the rug with the broom of time. And he's right. We may have ignored all the warnings and spurned all the invites to find true redemption and real forgiveness. But I trust this Christmas you'll listen again to the first Christmas message delivered by the angels to the shepherds. Luke chapter 2 and verse 10. "But the angels said to them, 'Do not be afraid. I bring you" what? "Good news of great joy. That will be for all people. Today in the town of David, a Saviour has been born to you, and he is Christ the Lord. This will be the sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger.'" God sent us a Saviour. Don Carson, a preacher, puts it this way: if God had perceived that our greatest need was economic, he would have sent us an economist. If he had perceived that our greatest need was entertainment, he'd have sent us a comedian or an artist. If God had perceived that our greatest need was political stability, he'd have sent us a politician. If he had perceived that our greatest need was health, he'd have sent us a doctor. But he perceived that our greatest need involved our sin, our alienation from him, our profound rebellion, our death. So he sent us a Saviour. And this Saviour, in the words of Isaiah the prophet, "For a child is born to us, a son is given to us. The government will rest on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Another modern writer, Ronnie Martin, says, for Ebenezer Scrooge, there was no Christ in Christmas until he was redeemed. What brings real change in our lives is an encounter with the baby in the manger, who went on to be our substitute, who took our place on the cross so that we could find real peace on earth. May you and I find this Christmas real hope, joy, peace, forgiveness, redemption, mercy and grace that God offers in the person of his Son, Jesus Christ. That's where we find true happiness. And you find it in the real Christmas story. May each one of you have a very happy Christmas and a blessed new year. God bless.